sort of idea. It should be OMG that are in control. But we'll have to see if he's able to make that happen, because couldn't quite get into the lanes in the way he wanted to in the last stage.
All right, well, game number 2, as we had an eerie silence for a second there with no game music. It's going to be EDG 1-0 up on the scoreboard. And based on game number 1, I'm feeling confident for them for game 2 here.
What's the LeBlanc skin?
It's Elderwood.
Oh, it's Elderwood,
new
is
one.
it? Ah, okay.
It's a posh new skin, that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was
nice.
like the Ravenborn, just with a chroma or something like that, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the animations are pretty sick as well. She's a tree, mate.
Oh, damn.
Basically like the Ivan of the mid lane, except LeBlanc.
And dealing a whole load of damage.
I mean, Ivan, with a couple of death caps, he can do some work.
I don't
Let me
believe
tell you. FLICKR is going to be found out here, and maybe they can make some magic happen. He's going to start his red buff off completely alone and immediately gets caught out. Flash, Ignite ticking, one more auto, one more Q, and Scout starts off strong.
And straight off the bat, FLICKR is already on the back foot. Junji now controlling this jungle, not only from matchup perspective, but having the advantage in hitting that level 2 first and being able to consistently invade onto FLICKR. This sucks as a Lee Sin.
Yeah, I mean, right now, FLICKR is just thinking, Junji, you gotta be kidding me, man. I can't believe it's gone so wrong to start things off.
And look at the ward that's been placed by EDG at their own red buff as well. They're going to be able to spot out if FLICKR tries to split the map in any sort of way, and it means that then Junji and potentially Scout can collapse, although with that being said, Icon's doing a good job of pushing in this mid lane so it can help respond to FLICKR if he wants to go for that.
A really important thing as well, you can see Biscuit delivery there from Scout. Interestingly, the rune has wings on the biscuits, but the biscuits themselves don't actually have wings.
Well, how else are you going to eat them? They got wings on them. It's way too difficult.
I eat chicken wings all the time.
Yeah, but that's the wing itself. It's not like you're trying to fit the cookie into your mouth with wings on the side.
Yeah, you can take bites. You have to put the whole
Have
thing
you seen me
intact.
eat? That's not how I work.
That's an aggressive style right there, and I'm not talking about gameplay. Dear me. Well, it's good start here for EDG. 500 gold up already. And Curse, he's going to stack himself up a minion wave quite nicely. Obviously, Renekton, the king of the top lane here. There's not a whole lot that Audi can do about that one to start things off. Let's hook onto Mako. Good stuff from Cold. Bear in mind, in case you've only just joining us, it was Sora playing in the support role for OMG in game number 1. Played the Tarek. He looked okay, but a couple of late Cosmic Radiances, and Cold has been subbed back in the bottom lane.
And now Code and SMLZ have actually, with this massive wave crashing into the bottom lane, should help in securing this Rift Scuttle for themselves. You can see they're just walking up to take it and making sure that there's no way Junji can pick it up for themselves. Mako is now trying to move across to help.
That was some beautiful CSing by Hope, by the way. Missed absolutely nothing. In they go, though. Cold starting things off, and he's got his Aftershock, but it's ticked out now. Now Mako pulled back in. Doesn't have his Eclipse just yet, so he's not that tanky. Can't get over the wall, and he will go down. It's 1-for-1, though. AD carry for support is a trade you're going to be happy to take. Icon's in trouble. In goes the Essence Flux, flashes over the wall. That's a clone. That's the wrong one, guys.
And OMG come out on top. They end up getting a kill for themselves in that trade, and you get a lot. Some of the summoners burnt on OMG's side. Oh, hang on.
Scout could be in trouble. Gets the stun. Actually nearly finishes Icon off there. Hacker goes in. Cold can't do much about it. I want to see him flash Q. He's not going to do it, but it would be...
It would be sick, but the problem is you have Distortion Icon who can react fairly fast to that play, so not going to be able to do so much. But Riskull did go across to Junji, so look at the CS difference between the Graves and even the level advantage that he has over the Lee Sin.
Already taking a decent bit of damage underneath the tower here, and FLICKR is going to be doing the Krugs, threatening the possibility of a dive onto Audi. The problem is, trying to dive a Wukong, he can turn invisible, which can be a little bit of a pain. However, Lee Sin can spot invisible guys, despite being blind.
I mean, there's no, what is it, impairment for a smelly enemy, but Junji, anyway, is going to be here spotted on the ward too. Although OMG, looking to see if they can make a play.
It's not going to happen, though. Junji just going to slide over the wall, through the log, and continue to farm up. Bear in mind, looking at the CS numbers, Junji's having a great time in this jungle. 1-0-1, and he's 10 CS up as well.
And although there's a big discrepancy in this bottom lane, it's going to be answered by SMLZ as he clears out these waves. So far, it's pretty much even Steven, apart from that first couple of kills and that jungle advantage that EDG have picked up.
But EDG, they've got a good little gold lead for themselves. And bear in mind that they're going to be looking to fight a little bit later on in the game. They're not actually going to be just trying to force things for the sake of it. Nice little dodge on the ethereal chains there from Scout, and it means he gets to turn this trade around very heavily in his favor. Nicely done in the mid lane.
Junji is here as well, so you can see that's why he's going aggressive. Level 6 hit by Scout.
Slow down on Icon. Unleash power available for Scout if he can find the play. Flash available, and he's hunting. He's searching for Icon. Hacker might be the one to walk into him instead. He doesn't care what the target is. All he has to do is press R, and the skill comes on through. Hacker now being pushed on up. Audi is level 6 as well.
You have 3 members of EDG, though, that are moving towards this top side. Audi, as he said, ultimate available. Could set up for the play, but they decide to back off instead.
Oh, nice ward on the Lantern. Means SMLZ takes a couple of extra autos. Bottom side, the play not going to happen in the end. Scout moves back to the mid lane. Obviously, Icon with the Ignite, and it means that Scout can shove this wave underneath its own. I
like this call from Junji as well, moving down towards the bottom side of the map. He'll be able to pick up the Dragon off of the push that Hope and Mako have right here, and then move back into, pass over the blue buff, go towards his Gromp that's respawned there as well. So this is smart play from EDG in rotating around the map and picking up the advantages that they can.
And smart play is exactly what I expect from EDG. That is the level that they've been at in the LPL, even in spring. And, they did make playoffs. They made it 5th, 6th. And it was a lot down to this smart macro play throughout. Being able to do well in the team fights, but ultimately it was about playing the map.
At the moment, though, you can see that some of the map isn't going as well as for them as they'd like. Audi struggling in this top lane. That's to be expected in this matchup. Renekton has so much control against this Wukong early and makes it very difficult for the Wukong to trade back into him, to proc his Stone Skin, and actually do anything essentially in this matchup. So Audi now with the Tiamat means he can't be pushed in as aggressively by Curse, but still this matchup is going to be Curse favored until the 2nd to 3rd item comes through from this Wukong.
Would you say it's a bit of a cursed matchup for Audi?
I'd say it's a bit of monkey business for Audi, to be honest. He's got to figure out a different way to play around it.
Oh dear. Well, hopefully, since he is a monkey, he should be able to deal with that. We'll have to wait and see. I'm running out of banter here, Dagda.
There's been so many pauses. It is running a little bit dry, but look, either way, we can set up what we can expect for the rest of the, well, at least for the next couple of minutes, right? So we already talked about OMG being super strong towards the top portion of the map. Well, you've got that Rift Herald that's just spawned, and they should be trying to put aggression towards that. The big issue, though, is with these kills going over towards Junji. He's finished that Warrior enchantment, whereas when you look at Hacker, he's still struggling to get anywhere near that. You've got the level of advantage for Junji as well. So these trades that we expected OMG to be able to play towards haven't quite come out in the way that they would have wanted.
Icon able to grab his blue buff, and he'll be able to return to that mid lane once again. Pretty significant CS lead building up for Scout in that mid lane. He's starting to find a very significant advantage.
Yeah, and a lot of that is going to be one off of the blue buff that he picked up a little bit earlier. Shoving the wave in consistently against Icon makes it a bit tougher for Icon when he didn't have his own blue buff. That was delayed because of that invade that we saw at the start of the game. But also just Scout doing a really good job to punish Icon when he's been missing these chains or not hitting the distortions.
Audi has that Tiamat in the top side as well, so he's going to do a little bit better at just trying to counter shove against Curse. He's able to push things in. Eclipse used immediately from Mako. He knew the hook was coming, and SMLZ trading pretty aggressively. Good damage onto Hope there with a billion shuriken. It's still 2.5 minutes till the Dragon, so not much going to come of that, although Icon's moving in.
They are still pretty healthy on this bottom side of the map, so I don't think there's too much worry for EDG here. They can clear out this wave too. So
Icon going to take a tower shot there. Hope ignited. He's going to be fine for now. Mako just playing bodyguard right now. Actually going to flash away from the chains from Icon, but they're happy to use summoners. They're happy to play this safe.
Look at mid. They've now got Rift Herald. You already have Scout who's pushing in aggressively. They just need to escape away, but...
So much for playing it safe. They go back in. Sonic Wave will finish off the kill, and Mako will fall too. Might finish off the kill. No! Hacker just gets away with it.
Hope and Mako just needed to call it quits. Say, hey, look, we've got the pressure on the bottom side coming towards us. We know Scout and Junji will be answer for this mid lane turret. Just back away. give a few of those plates and you'd be fine, but now they give their 2 lives and the turret.
They might find some more right here because they've got a Herald. They're going into the mid lane. This is going to be a massive swing in gold in favor of EDG. Sure, they lose 2 kills, but you'll trade that for 2 turrets.
I mean, you're losing a couple of kills, you lost a couple of turret plates, but all that was gained by EDG. It's just unfortunate that Hope and Mako were part of that trade.
We're 10 minutes in, and Icon is defending the inhibitor from a minion wave. How is that the situation we're in after such a quiet early game?
And now it becomes so much easier for EDG to have impact around the rest of the map, because you can very aggressively, as Scout and Junji, shove in this mid wave, force someone from OMG to deal with it, and you rotate top, you rotate down towards this bottom side, causing these mana advantages that are going to be very difficult for OMG to deal with, especially with no TP available on Curse at the moment.
Yeah, no safety from those towers in the mid lane. It means that the jungle is going to be a lot harder to control here for OMG as well. They're going to lose control of some of their buffs, some of their camps. Junji are going to try and make that happen. Mako, ooh, just about dodges the Death Sentence. Solar Flare going to stop them from aggressing, and that's a good amount of damage from Hope as well. Moonlight Vigil comes on in. Mako just cannot get away with anything. Junja forced away. Really nice play from OMG.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of catching out this bottom lane of EDG. Mako making a few mistakes, walking too aggressively into this river. That was where OMG wanted to be. They're trying to get vision for Dragon, but without the support of Junja, without the support of Scout, Mako gives over his life.
Yeah, a little bit too confident on these plays. It's going to mean he's actually 0-3 so far this game. Mako's not having a fun time of it. And when you look at the scoreboard, OMG are up in kills. It's just the map play, once again, that EDG are winning.
And the big thing is that you've given 2 kills now to Icon, who has the burst damage to deal with Junja, Scout, Hope. So it becomes really difficult now for EDG to try and play as aggressively coming into these mid-game fights in case Icon is able to get on towards the back line. Also looking towards Curse in the top lane, looks like he's opted instead to go for more of this split push orientated build, or at least a different style of build than we usually see coming into the LPL, going with that Blade of the Rune King. We generally see the Black Cleaver build for the Renekton's, but definitely here he's trying to just enjoy this top lane matchup for as long as possible.
Yeah, it's not often we get to see the Blade of the Rune King Renekton here in the LPL. Curse not doing as well in the trading as he was earlier on in the game, but he's got himself a pretty hefty CS advantage. He's going to be happy with the way this lane is going for himself. But ultimately, all he has to do is keep the pressure on enough that Audi has to stay there, because Hacker and Icon are starting to snowball. This is what I was asking for coming into the game. I wasn't confident it was going to happen, but we finally see Icon stepping up a little bit again.
We have to see if OMG can use the advantages though, because we're still pretty even when it comes to gold. And as we talked about, EDG haven't quite hit their point where they're at their strongest. Hope still looking to complete these 2 items with Mako.
This is cyberbullying at this point. Hope still sticking around, and Hope, there's a wall. Jump over the wall. He uses Arcane Shift and his Flash just in the river.
I don't know what to tell you. It looks like maybe this long day and these long pauses are getting to EDG as well, because Hope could have just hopped over the wall, no problems there. Instead, with Icon roaming down, that's another kill going to OMG. OMG now going to get this bottom lane turret as well. He still has the Crescendum available there when SMLZ wants to swap over at any point in time. Like, this is really poor play from the bottom lane of EDG.
Yeah, and uncharacteristic poor play from them as well. This is not a bot lane that we expect to be making so many mistakes. Obviously, they are being focused quite a lot by Hacker, by Icon, moving over and putting pressure on, but you don't usually... I mean, Hope especially here, he should have known to back away.
And here you say it, like, Arcane Shift, okay, cool. Just flash over the wall. There's no Q available on the Lee Sin. He just used it to close that gap. He just ward hopped to you, so you should be fine to get away scot-free there, but instead...
Definition of a panic flash, right?
Yeah.
He's just in the split-second moment, he realizes everything's going wrong and he just panics. But when we look at the tower plates, it was relatively even. Obviously, I say relatively, it's exactly even, in fact. 800 gold each, but Scout getting a ton of it because of that Rip Herald mid.
And that's the difference here, is that the gold on OMG's got into SMLZ, the late game carry, the big guy to try and beat consistent damage. Whereas for EDG, it's onto Scout, who is going to really struggle to find big pick scenarios if this Renekton is able to play forward. If Code, especially going this tankier style of build rather than going towards the Shurelys, is able to play a little bit more aggressively.
EDG setting up for this second Rift Herald, getting vision as deep as they reasonably can. You have to bear in mind, they are actually now behind when it comes to the gold. OMG, most specifically Hacker and Icon, are massive right now, but also you can't discount Curse when it comes, if it does turn into a team fight. Dominus available, he's hit level 11, so that'll have the second point in it. But most importantly, he's finished off his Blade of the Rune King as well.
And now he'll be able to continue, as he said, pushing in this bottom lane. And I think this is where we're going to start to see EDG crumble a little bit. Those items that you expect to be hitting around about this time, like that first item for Ezreal, is only just finished.
Icon doing a good amount of damage to Scout. No teleport for Scout. He went for the Ignite this game, which means now that should be a huge advantage for Herald.
And now they can use that pressure as well, where, as we said, Hope is behind. Scout has evened it up thanks to all the turret plates he's gotten, but having to walk back to base will give OMG the option to stand up.
Curse is diving onto Audi. Cyclone keeps him safe from Junja here to answer. Dominus still ticking, bear in mind, so I don't think that's a 1v1 Junja can actually win there. Just going to try and force him away. And
the big thing here is that you can run straight towards Dragon as well as OMG, because Audi's ultimate is the main reason that you pick Wukong. This is a big source of his damage, and just being able to consistently hit that double combo when it comes to the cooldown. So not having that available as Audi is a really big boon for OMG.
Icon would have loved to do something there, but he knows that Mako is not the target. Eclipse available means he's just about invincible. So Icon decides to hold off on that one. 20 seconds until this Ocean Drake. This will be an Ocean Soul this game, so probably the most valuable Drake available. OMG, they're at a point where they are incredibly strong if they want to try and force these fights.
OMG are going to make the call. Rift Herald in mid to make sure they can get across the Dragon, but
oh, Cold has a stopwatch. That's going to keep him safe. Barely gets away with his life. Nice flash, but True Shot Barrage goes wide from Hope. So Cold now, with him having to go back to base potentially, perhaps OMG don't have the same advantage over Dragon as they want.
And there is the opportunity for EDG to clear out this Rift Herald before it gets to charge. If someone can get behind, there we go.
Get the auto in. As long as you auto just as it starts charging, it'll follow it on the charge and you still get the eye.
So OMG don't get anything from the Rift. They aren't able to get into River for Dragon. Audi split pushing in top lane. EDG looking good off of that play, so they find a little bit of respite.
Icon goes on in and he's looking for Hope. What a play from Icon. This is what we wanted to see. In the meantime, Audi forced away from Curse has to use his Cyclone once again.
Icon finally stepping up for OMG. We said when this guy looks on form, OMG will follow suit. And once again, the mid laner, the franchise player, will find the pick that OMG need. And
Hope 0-3 now. This was the guy. We've just spent 20 minutes telling you that he's one of the best AD carries in the LPL.
Yeah,
and immediately he goes 0-3. And all of that is down to Hacker. It's down to Icon finding advantages. Now Junja wants to punish that, wants to shut them down. Teleport though from Curse. And suddenly this doesn't look so good. Scout of the week. Everybody is here from OMG and there's no tower standing. Scout goes down. Junja is going to be following. Flashes over the wall, but SMLZ is stepped on forward. This time he's not out of position. This time he's the one that's hunting. Moonlight Vigil over the wall, flashes to follow, but the blast cone ruins it. Sonic Wave is there, and Hacker finishes it off.
And Hope is just sitting there in the mid lane going, guys, there's nothing I can do here. EDG are collapsing in this game, and OMG are finding everything. Hacker's 5-1 right now.
I don't know quite how OMG can look so terrible in game number 1 and so damn good in game 2.
It makes so little sense, and it really just feels like, hey, look, if a couple of plays go... Ooh.
Oh, the blind chains, or maybe there was some vision, I'm not sure, but Audi flashes away from the distortion, and it looks like Icon not going to follow it up.
Yeah, Icon not wanting to go too far forward, but still, we're coming to that 20-minute mark, and OMG are firmly in the lead. This is Icon. This was so beautiful. Sets it up originally, coming back.
Distortion.
And that flash as well to get rid of all that CC coming through from Scout, from Mako. Icon, like, that was beautiful.
Mwah. Chef's kiss on that one. Beautiful stuff from Icon. And that's what you expect when you see his LeBlanc. Well, it's what you want to expect, right?
Yeah.
When he's on, this is what you expect. He's the kind of mid laner that can, and has many times, popped off in huge ways. It's just not consistent.
The story of OMG, right? I mean, we want that consistency. We want to see them making these plays. We want to see them back where they were pushing towards playoffs. And finally, we get a look of what can be. And I think that's what makes it nearly worse, is that we see these plays. We see moments like this and think, maybe OMG can do it. Maybe this is the series that we get to see them come back to their form. But we'll have to see. This is one game. They're trying to push towards a game 3, trying to get their first win on the board of the summer split.
I'm trying to find it. EDG not going to be done just yet. Let's bear in mind, the Gold League 3,000, certainly a sizable lead at 20 minutes, but EDG, they've got Ezreal, they've got Syndra. They've not hit their big power spikes just yet, so there is still very much time. Although, that would be a complication. If Baron does go the way of OMG, there is no vision. There's not even a thought of this right now from EDG.
The pings are going down, though. They realize this is the thing. So, potential for hope. Okay, OMG have backed off.
So, Scryer's Orb comes out. I was wrong. There was a thought of it. EDG knew what was going on after all. I should have given him more credit on that one, maybe. But
I think once they saw Curse kind of running through the jungle going, oh no, I hope no one's catching me, they kind of went, okay, maybe we should have a look at this Baron.
Curse with his best damsel in distress impression.
Oh no, someone's tied me to the train tracks. What will I do?
Turns out he's a giant crocodile, though, so they didn't buy it. They knew it was the wolf in Grandma's pajamas. And now, once again, we return to this bottom lane where Curse has just been bullying Audi all game long. He's 50 CS up.
Oh, this
He's
is
gonna
so
find
mean.
yet another turret.
He's just wait. Oh, it doesn't die. He was actually trying to see if he could get the cannon creep to die.
Yeah.
So you're just getting a little bit more gold away from Audi. But I mean, he doesn't really need to do too much right now because sitting on that Blade of the Rune King, Black Cleaver just completed for himself on that back as well. And he's still going to bully this out. Remember what we said, Audi needs to get towards that third item before he can really take over here, or at least that level 16 as well. So he's got a 4% tick coming through on his ulti. And that's really where this will swap over into Audi's favor.
Audi's certainly been revving his engines this game, and he's now got a Black Cleaver on top of that Blade of the Rune King as well, so he's going to be hitting like a truck if he can get onto this team. That is the thing, though, once again, it's a Renekton, so one of the biggest ways to play around that is trying to deny him getting into the fight. Things like Scout using that Scatter the Weak correctly can still play around these advantages.
And we talked about that as well, right? You know, Mako has the opportunity to play Keep Away. Hope will just do that naturally with his Arcane Shift and trying to keep some of these more aggressive members at bay. But Icon, we saw, if he's able to make these plays happen, he can very quickly catch EDG off guard.
All right, so let's just take a moment here and look at EDG's scoreboards right now, because there's a Tiamat as well as a Triforce for Audi. We've got the Spellbinder coming through for Scout. We've got the Muramana is now completely stacked for Hope. We're getting to a point where EDG are hitting their spikes.
And they are now saying, hey, look, we're going to give up this Dragon 2 for OMG. The double ocean, super nice, but we don't want to try and fight for this. We want to get vision back over on towards this Baron pit. But essentially at this stage, EDG have got to kind of start looking for picks. You're 3,000 gold behind, which isn't a huge amount, but the pressure Curse and Icon can create across the map is really high and too difficult for EDG to deal with.
Well, Cold was going to try and go for the hook then, but the ward survives in the end. And unfortunately, Hope not quite able to finish that one off. So another turret, another bit of gold. 4,000 now in favor of OMG.
So this is why EDG are trying to trade dragons for vision. They've realized, look, yes, we've hit our 2-item spike on Hope. Yes, we've hit on Scout, but we're so far behind our curve that the Aphelios has already completed his second item. He's now pushing towards his Phantom Dancer, and we're starting to run out of options. So they're going to start moving into trying to get vision around these big objectives so they can catch out potentially Icon, maybe Hacker in and around the Baron, and then turn it into a favorable advantage for themselves.
Well, we are saying how OMG are way in the lead right now. The Colonel doesn't think it's that much of a lead. He's giving him a 6.8% advantage right here. And you know, the Colonel, granted, he is good at making fried chicken, but he is also just an algorithm. So whether his analysis is up to quite the level of Mr. Dagda on my left here. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Irishman here.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to fight against the Colonel any day. He's a robot after all.
That is true. So. He's like Julius Caesar. Gives him the thumbs up or the thumbs down. And well, in Gladiator, they both die. Everyone loses. So I don't know. Maybe it's a thumbs medium.
Yeah, just the shake of the hand. I think that's the term for the.
Yeah, that is the scientific term. Or in India, it would be the head wobble that they do.
Oh yeah.
It's like the medium. I don't know why they need a medium. There's a nod, there's a shake, and then there's a wobble. If you've never heard of that, go on YouTube, take a look at it. It is a real thing. It's a cultural phenomenon that's only in India. Well, there you go. That's my random head wobble trivia. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, I'm surprised to see us get to such a slow portion of the game right now. I thought we'd see at least a little bit more aggression from Icon in picks like this.
Icon dashes away, but his Banshees is gone, and he's solo. There's a solar flare. And Icon is the collateral damage.
And we talked about EDG wanting to find these picks. Well, Icon just gave it to them. Now they have the opportunity to get their waves back in order. They're buying time for Wukong to get towards his death stance. That's a pretty sizable mistake from Icon, but EDG, their wave's not really in position, won't be able to capitalize on it too much.
Let's take another look at this. Yeah. Icon just, banging off way more than he can shoot.
Yeah. And I think as well, having a couple of those shots come through, getting rid of the Banshee's Veil, that false sense of security coming back to bite Icon at the end of the day.
And Audi has had a lot of time this game to just soak up minion waves. And they lost the tier 2 in the bottom lane, but Audi's kind of okay with that, because it just means that at this point, Curse can't punish him as much.
Yeah, so the thing is, Audi will eventually outscale in the top lane. It's just taking a little bit longer because that Blade of the Rune King build from Curse, which I do like the different style than what we usually see in the LPL. But the big problem that I'm looking towards is that Icon, usually you don't consider him outscaling the Syndra. They usually go hand in hand into the late game, but now that Scout has opted for this Spellbinder, whereas it looks like you've got Icon who can still go towards that Rabadons, Icon will then take a step up when it comes to scaling into the later stages thanks to that Rabadon's death cap. We've got SMLZ as well who will outscale Hope. So even though Audi is going to look good in the side lane, it's when you look towards the two big carries in Scout and Hope on EDG, they just won't have the bang for the buck you expect because we're going to that 35, 40 minute.
At least, Dagda. I'd say upwards of 60. Based on the games today, that has been the theme as long as is possible. We've got 40 seconds until this Ocean Drake spawns. This would be the third one for OMG if they're able to grab it. And importantly, Soul Point. If you can get 4 Ocean Drakes and the Soul, that scaling comes out of the question at that point. It's no longer about scaling. It's no longer about items. You just win on stats alone.
Well, we'll have to see if EDG can find that fight. Death Stance is now finished for Wukong. So Audi finally in position at level 16 as well.
For
He
Hope
wants
as well.
to find these fights.
Hope's actually ahead on items right now. He's finished his third. So he's going to have a slight advantage over SMLZ in this fight.
Well, SMLZ building the Death Stance is pretty interesting. Although I'm going to hold on to that because Baron has been started.
This was spotted. They know what's going on. And in the meantime, Curse it's all a bait. Curse is not playing the Damsel this time. It's his team that are playing the Damsels. Curse is playing Prince Charming, I suppose. As he goes for the Ocean Drake. They're going to try and make it on in. 1,800 health. Curse realizes he can't do this. I don't know why you're autoing the Dragon right now. The Cyclone gets it. Down goes Curse. Huge bounty going their way. Now they've got to make it up to this Dragon real quick. The Baron even. 2,000 on that one. It's going to be going on down. It goes the way of Graves though. It's EDG turning everything on his head. SMLZ forced out of the pit. Cold flashes away. But SMLZ's on the wrong side of the map right here. Audi pushing him away. Icon's going to go down once again. Another kill to Scout. SMLZ has nothing in the tank. And EDG come up huge.
OMG gift over everything to EDG. Curse sticks around way too long in the pit. Means that, okay, they end up giving that Dragon over to EDG. Curse gives the kill over to EDG. And with that teleport play, they're able to get over. They outnumber OMG in the Baron pit. And now they can keep pushing forward.
Read them like a book. EDG, they spot the Dragon play. They book it up to the Baron. And importantly, OMG don't even get the Baron.
No, and Hacker is moving in way too aggressively. He tries to kick Junja out to turn back, but isn't in the position then when the stun comes down to actually survive. EDG clean up the jungler, they get the Baron, and at that stage OMG realize we've got to run from the hills.
Really nicely done from Audi there to force SMLZ away, but not overcommit, not end up going down. Obviously SMLZ had a lot of damage at that point, but now we're in a position where suddenly the gold ain't so favorable for OMG. They're actually down.
They are down, and there's a lot of standing gold on this map right now. So you've got that bottom lane turret. You want to be cracking up in these tier 2s with the Baron buff as well, although only with a minute 30, may not be able to get the majority of them that they would like, but still EDG can pick up this gold and start to funnel it into a bit more damage for themselves.
Honestly, Scout this game is taking his team and sticking him on his back. He got the shutdown onto Curse. He got the shutdown onto Icon as well. He is absolutely massive as he's finished the Banshees as well.
And I want to go back to SMLZ going for this death stance. I'm actually not the biggest fan of it. I think just going for the Phantom Dancer gives you enough survivability in these fights, particularly when you aren't, in theory, going to be touched a lot by Audi. Scout isn't going to be able to get onto you too much in these fights as well, because he's got to deal with Icon and also Curse playing as his keep away.
This is going to be an inhib going down right here. EDG just brute force their way into the base. Icon, in the meantime, is trying to split push. It's not going to pay off at all.
I don't know what's happened. OMG had the advantage in this game, and one fight, they turned it around.
Yeah, one fight and then 4 magical letters. T-I-L-T. OMG, after losing their lead, I think they might have just broken the mental.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say, like, OMG haven't been able to make the hardest of plays, and unfortunately, we even called it out in this game, was consistency from OMG. Good early start of the game. Then we get to the later stages and they just fall apart. And for a team that looked incredibly good in spring, of when they got a lead, snowballing that, it hasn't, well, at least in the first quarter, we'll say, of spring split, it hasn't really worked for them in summer.
I think one thing that as well we kind of forgot during the mid game is Scout got funneled a ton of gold at the start of the game. He got 2 towers in that mid lane, including all of the plates. So even though Icon was the one with a bounty and a bunch of kills, they were pretty even in gold.
Well, it's not really the gold that's been the factor in this game, right? I mean, it's given OMG the opportunities to go for some of these plays, get some of these dragons in their favor, but it's missed plays where Curse is trying to solo out a dragon, gets collapsed on, and you even see both Audi and Scout burn their ultimate, but still EDG are able to win in the ensuing fight because of a mistake from Hacker then, where he goes too far forward and gets stunned up on Mako. So overall, it's been more mistakes on OMG that are leading to EDG's success.
We've got 55 seconds until this Ocean Drake spawns, and I was not expecting to be saying this, but it's EDG that are on Soul Point. Suddenly, there's a huge amount of pressure on OMG to show up right now. They're out of time. They have to win this fight.
Curse is trying to walk down to join OMG, so we'll have to see now how this team fight goes. Potential for this death stance to be really good on SMLZ if Audi's able to get access to the backline. A level 18 Wukong.
Mako, no! They don't go for it. I feel like that was an opportunity.
Cold missed the hook. So they did go for the play. They missed the hook on Mako, and Mako getting away by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah. There could have been a kick. Hacker could have gone for that. Hope takes a bit of damage, but Icon can't pop the second sigil there.
Hope is able to back, though, and teleport in if needs be. They're just trying to... Oh, Mako, stop taking them!
he is also Ezreal with Death Stance, so he's going to be able to get a lot of lifesteal off in the meantime. Ooh, Junja just about slides to safety here. And look, that's the lifesteal I'm talking about. Hope, basically full HP again. Death Stance is ridiculous. Dragon is solo already. This is going to be Ocean Soul taken by EDG. OMG are late to their own birthday party, and now Hacker forced away. He's got a GA to keep himself safe. OMG survived, but the scaling option is out of the window.
Audi played that incredibly well. Going in aggressive, so he gets Hacker into a position where he can't go into the pit, and leaving the clone as the rest of OMG try to funnel onto him, gets the second knock up with the clone on top of knocking up Hacker once again. And then there's no engage from OMG, so EDG don't even have to worry about a fight. And they do burn the flash from Audi, but still, they get what they came for.
if OMG can still win this one, after Ocean Soul has been taken away from them, it's going to be something to behold. But EDG holding on in this game. I'm so impressed that they still have a chance here, that they can still win this series.
Well, late game was always where we praised EDG, right?
Yeah.
Last year, they had a 40% win rate from behind at 15 minutes. When they got to the late game, that's where they really owned the fights, those late game front-to-back team fights. EDG here as well, when you look towards Scout, now Spellbinder, now the Rabadon's Death Cap as well, means that any member of OMG that he gets onto, between the burst damage of Spellbinder and the amplification of Rabadon's, he will kill everyone.
That's his goal, at least. That's what he's open for. Icon goes in. It's not going to do all or too much here. And let's bear in mind, you know that burst we saw onto Hope and the lifesteal he already had? Well, now he's got an Ocean Soul. Scout wants to make a play immediately in. The GA going to be popped on off, but there's no way to get that Lantern. There goes Hacker. 50-second death timer, and Baron has just arrived on the map.
And OMG can't try and move in here aggressively because Curse has got to deal with these minion waves in the bottom lane. EDG can turn towards this objective, burst it out before anyone from OMG can make a play.
Honestly, mate, even if Curse doesn't have to deal with the minions, I don't think that they can move in on this one, because I don't see a way that you win a 4v5 in this game anymore. This is looking real dicey.
Looking towards Scout as well, trying to see if he can catch out Icon, or maybe vice versa, but now EDG are going to back away. They're going to finish off the last bout of items and see if they can close out this game against OMG. Still though, OMG now looking to try and finish off SMLZ's last.
How did this go wrong? OMG had this in the bag.
It's OMG. What do you want me to say? Summer has not been kind to these guys.
And they just bit off more than they could chew. Oh, that was beautiful. You see that? Yeah. He sets it up for the True Shot Barrage. What a guy. Junjia, I take my hat off to you, but I'm not wearing a hat. But like, look, they were so far ahead. They were spiking super hard in their composition as well. They had their late game advantage thanks to this Aphelios, but they tried to do the Dragon and do the Baron at the same time, and they both went wrong. How do you lose on both sides of the map at the same time when you're that far ahead?
And especially when OMG played this early game so well, playing through that bottom side of the map, setting up SMLZ and Code for great success. I mean, Mako has still been 0-3 this entire game since the plays on the bottom side went awry, but since then, EDG have been on an absolute tear, little to no mistakes, and now they find themselves a 4K gold lead, 4 dragons, and still pushing on towards this top tower.
And they will burst through this tower real quick. Obviously, Hope can get the Essence Flux in, and it'll do about a quarter of a tower's health at this point in the game. He has so much lifesteal with the Death Stance, he can just keep poking out with these Qs, and he'll be able to withstand what comes back.
And because OMG have fallen behind here, their ability to get onto EDG is severely hindered. You have to look for Hacker as this big play, or maybe a flash in from Curse, but otherwise, you're not getting onto Hope, and even if you get onto Scout, he's got the stopwatch now.
Yeah, Hope just trying to finish off this inhibitor right now. Icon forced away by the Scat of the Week there. Now onto the mid lane as well. Hope gets free reign on the bottom side. Audi getting aggressed upon by Curse, but he gets out with his clone. The Warrior Trickster keeping him safe. Another tower is about to fall. This is going to be a second inhibitor as well. OMG, if they want to make something happen, it's now or never, guys. Your base is falling apart right before your eyes. Death Sentence goes wide. It feels a little bit like OMG have given up, Dagda.
It definitely does. Audi going back to base. He's going to go clear out that wave in the bottom side as EDG can just poke on towards this last inhibitor. Junjia's going to clear it out by himself.
OMG have just watched their base fall apart before them. Hope dodges away from the Death Sentence. Junjia can't quite get the third. Here we go. OMG are making it happen. TP from Curse. He's straight onto Scout. There's a Zhonya's though to keep Scout safe. Curse still going on this one, and he will find one kill for himself. Answers with his own life though as Icon desperate to finish off Audi. This is a very spread out fight. Hope is still going strong. Curse pulled away, but he still goes down. SMLZ has so many shuriken. Maybe he can make this happen for himself. That's going to be a kill onto Junjia. Hope has to do it. Look at the shurikens. Hope still doesn't take any damage though. The Death Stance is ridiculous. And somehow it's a 2 for 2.
You said it already, SMLZ has hit late game critical mass. Essence Reaver there.
Icon's there, doesn't quite get the root. And we reset once more.
So there's the Death Stance, there's the Essence Reaver, there's a lot of AD on SMLZ, so if he's got a bunch of these shurikens flinging around in fights, he's healing a lot, he's got that built-in sustain with the Death Stance, and now going for, instead of that Phantom Dancer build or going towards another crit item, he's just gone full damage and is really wreaking havoc on EDG here. You see, SMLZ tries to make the play happen, not able to burst out Scout thanks to that stopwatch we said, but Audi in this fight as well hasn't been able to do anything to SMLZ with the Severum, with the Crescendum, Death Stance, healing galore. I mean, you're pretty much the exact same Aphelios health bar wise in that fight the entire time.
Elder Drake is on the map though, Dag. Both junglers with no flash right now. This could be, in fact, this probably will be
EDG
the game-changing fight.
Don't want to start this.
I
Never
beg
mind.
to differ on that one, because Icon's been caught. He goes down. The guy that we said needs to step up has fallen at the final hurdle.
If EDG give this over to OMG, OMG can turn. They can potentially win this off the back of SMLZ and how big he is. As long as they hold off here and let top and bot push, they win by default. They just need to not do the Elder Dragon.
Just hold it. Just make sure Hacker can't go for the steal here. Curse has to deal with the minion wave. Supers pouring in top and mid.
So now, with the OMG backing off, they get this Elder for free. EDG play the map state incredibly well. They're going to get a Turris? No! Maybe there we go.
Beautifully done. And this is exactly what we said, right? EDG, you think of them, you think of the beautiful macro play. You think of them playing the map. And they've done it just beautifully here. Audi now is confident enough to just walk up to the inhibitor by himself, because with this Elder Dragon, with his team following suit, he's as strong as can be. Now, it's just a formality for EDG as they look to finish the game.
Only one tower remains. Elder buff there. EDG looking for it.
Cold slow, SMLZ dodging away from the skill shots. Hope nearly gets caught by a death sentence. But even that, I'm not even sure if that would be enough for OMG to win a fight at this point.
Super creeps are pouring in. Top, mid, bot will be arrived shortly. The tower taken below half.
Tower's about to fall down. One more auto will do it. They back away. Hacker goes in. GA popped already. And now Cold steps on forward. There's no damage out of SMLZ, and the fight is already done. Goodbye, Aphelios. Goodbye, OMG. 15-10 and EDG. The definition of consistency.
Well, we say definition consistency, but EDG were not looking so hot in the early stages of this game.